Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're getting into something huge.
Yeah.
This modern obsession with self-improvement.
Hmm.
The constant push to be better, faster, stronger, whatever. It's everywhere. Social media, books, workshops.
It really is a relentless quest.
But here's what's been bothering me, really getting under my skin, is all this striving actually making us feel more stuck. Like, are we chasing fulfillment but just ending up feeling, I don't know, more inadequate?
Oh, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? This promise of endless optimization, this constant upgrading of the self.
Yeah.
And yet underneath it all, there's often this nagging feeling of not being good enough. Like we're perpetually falling short.
Totally. Just think about scrolling online. It's like a highlight reel of perfection, right?
Oh, absolutely. The pristine morning routines.
The bullet journals are right just so, the hashtags like hashtag manifesting my dreams. And okay, maybe for a second you feel inspired, but then almost instantly that little sting hits. Comparison.
Right. Suddenly your own day, which was perfectly fine a minute ago.
Feels completely lame. Your quick 5 minutes of mindfulness feels pathetic next to someone's hour-long meditation retreat photo.
And what's really shifted, I think, is how this deeply personal thing, self-improvement, has become such a public performance.
Exactly. Performative is the word.
It's not enough to just do the thing anymore, read the book, meditate, whatever. There's this pressure, almost an unspoken rule, to document it.
Put it out there. Get the likes.
Yeah, turn it into content. Your quiet reflection needs a filter and a hashtag.
It reminds me of Freud's idea of the superego, that inner critic.
You were it. Yes.
It feels like the internet has just put that voice on loudspeakers.
Yeah.
Constant bombardment with these perfect curated lives.
And these become the new standards, impossible standards, really.
Yeah. Impossible. How can you not feel like you're lagging behind when that's all you see?
And if you look at the bigger picture, maybe it's not a huge leap to connect this to rising anxiety levels, especially for younger people who've grown up marinated in this digital comparison culture.
That pressure is intense. Not just be good, but look perfect doing it.
It's relentless.
But, okay, is it just external pressure? Or is something else going on? Like, when I find myself obsessing over someone's perfect online life,
Yeah.
is that actually about me?
Well, that's where projection comes in, doesn't it? Freud talked about this.
Right.
Instead of facing our own uncomfortable feelings, maybe fear of stagnation, fear of not being enough, we project those onto others.
So we see their curated life as what we want.
Exactly. We see the ideal self in them, and then maybe even resent them a little for having what we feel we lack. It's a curious twist.
Which just leads you down a rabbit hole, doesn't it? You feel bad, so you look for more self-help.
To fix the feeling.
Yeah. But the more you consume, the bigger the gap seems between your reality and this impossible ideal. It's like the help itself makes you feel more broken.
It's a paradoxical cycle. And notice the rise of the life coach, the online guru figure.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
Offering quick fixes, secret formulas. It taps into something really primal, I think. That need for guidance, like a parent figure.
It is kind of ironic, though. We prize individualism so much, but then we outsource our sense of direction to strangers online.
We do. We absorb their advice, nod along.
Even if deep down it feels off.
Yeah.
But admitting that feels like failing at self-improvement itself.
Which leads us back to that core question. Why do we need this stuff to work so desperately? What's the underlying need here?
What are we trying to fill?
Imagine Freud looking at our Instagram feeds today. He wouldn't just see tips and tricks.
No, he'd see the unconscious mind laid bare.
Pretty much. All our hidden desires, our anxieties playing out in public. Think about manifestation journals, the law of attraction.
It's all about getting more, isn't it?
Fundamentally, yes. That desire for more. Freud called it libido, this basic life drive, seeking pleasure, seeking fulfillment.
But it's never satisfied, right? That's the thing.
By its nature, it's insatiable. You reach one goal, achieve one thing, and the hunger just shifts to the next perceived lack.
So chasing external stuff, the perfect job, the perfect body.
It might just be a way to avoid looking inward, avoiding that deeper emptiness or yearning for something less tangible. Internal wholeness, maybe?
Which is scary territory.
Definitely. And that's when those defense mechanisms kick in, the ones Freud was so good at identifying.
We talked about projection. What else? Denial.
Oh, denial is huge in self-help culture. Think about buying the book, the course, the app.
And then not actually using it.
Yeah, right. The act of buying it feels like progress. It lets you deny the hard, uncomfortable work that actual change takes. The hope is easier than the effort.
Okay, that resonates. And what about sublimation, is that relevant here?
Absolutely. Channeling uncomfortable feelings into something productive.
Like anxiety becoming hyperproductivity.
Exactly. Or loneliness turning into relentless networking, building that perfect online persona. Self-doubt gets channeled into crafting this flawless personal brand.
So we're basically redirecting the energy.
We're redirecting it into something socially acceptable, something we can call growth. But Freud would argue the original feeling doesn't just disappear. It finds another outlet, often disguised.
And then there's guilt.
Oh, the guilt. The superego loves the self-improvement game. Every missed workout, every day you don't journal.
Fuels the inner critic. You're not trying hard enough.
It's a vicious cycle. You try to silence the guilt with more self-improvement, which often just makes you feel more inadequate when you inevitably slip up.
And the language. Crush your goals. Dominate your fears. It's quite aggressive.
Very aggressive. It's normalized aggression. Freud would definitely ask, where does all that aggression go? Is it constructive? Or is it turning inward, maybe?
It makes me think about repetition compulsion. That idea we unconsciously repeat patterns.
Yes, even negative ones. Think about New Year's resolutions.
Set them, break them, feel bad, set them again next year.
Exactly. It looks like striving, but are we just unconsciously replaying old scripts? Maybe scripts about not being good enough learned long ago?
So the constant trying might actually reinforce the feeling of being flawed.
Yeah,
That's unsettling.
It's a possibility. We get so focused on needing to be fixed that we keep reenacting the feeling of being broken.
And our identity gets tangled up in it too. Building this improved version of ourselves, this personal brand.
Meticulously crafted. But life is messy. What happens when reality crashes into that perfect image?
Anxiety, conflict.
A lot of potential for internal conflict. The polished story versus the complex reality of being human.
But these Freudian ideas, they still apply, even to our digital lives.
I think profoundly so. The stage has changed from the therapist's couch to the social media feed, but the underlying human drama, the drives, the conflicts, they're remarkably consistent.
So maybe the next time I feel pulled towards some new self-help trend or feel that pang of envy scrolling.
The useful question isn't, will this fix me?
But what am I really looking for right now?
Precisely. Is it real growth? Or is it escape, connection, or just distraction from something uncomfortable?
Turn that lens inward.
That self-analysis, questioning your own motives, that's probably more valuable than any quick fix. The real insights often come from grappling with the questions, not finding easy answers.
Okay, so maybe there's a twist here. What if the real point isn't the techniques, the 10 steps, the perfect outcome?
What if the value lies somewhere else?
Yeah, like in the gaps, the moments where the mask slips, where we see the cracks, where we feel imperfect.
Self-help often deals in these very stark binaries, doesn't it? Success, failure, discipline, and laziness.
Good, bad.
But the unconscious mind, as Freud saw it, is anything but binary. It's messy, contradictory, full of unresolved stuff. Trying to fit ourselves into neat boxes can be its own form of suppression.
Like affirmations, we repeat positive things.
To overwrite the negative.
But what happens to the doubt? Does it just vanish? Or are we just pushing it down, repressing it?
And repression, in Freud's view, doesn't make things disappear. They fester. They might pop up later, somewhere unexpected.
Which connects back to that self-help treadmill idea. The constant striving, affirming. Maybe it just reinforces the feeling we're trying to escape. That feeling of inadequacy.
It could be inadvertently strengthening the very pattern it aims to break.
It's a bit dark to think the whole industry might, unintentionally or not, keep us hooked on feeling dissatisfied.
Well, the business model certainly benefits if we keep striving for an elusive better, doesn't it? If we constantly feel we need the next thing.
It feeds on that feeling of lack.
And think about toxic positivity.
Yeah.
That pressure to always be optimistic, to squash any negativity.
Oh, that's huge right now.
From a Freudian standpoint, that looks a lot like denial. A powerful form, maybe. It stops us from actually dealing with the real root of the discomfort.
So maybe this whole obsession, it's really about deeper fears. Fear of being ordinary.
A fear of insignificance, fear of mortality even. These aren't things you can fix with a gratitude practice alone. Freud's approach was different. Insight doesn't always mean solving the problem. It means understanding it. Listening to the inner critic, not just trying to shut it up.
Accepting that we're unfinished, imperfect.
Perhaps accepting that being a work in progress isn't a flaw to be fixed, but just the human condition. Maybe that's liberating.
So we end up with more questions than answers, really, which feels appropriate somehow.
It does. Psychoanalysis often raises more questions.
Why do we keep chasing this if it often leaves us feeling worse? What void are we trying to fill? Is it noble or just a massive distraction?
The idea isn't necessarily to find neat answers. Maybe it's more about being willing to sit with the ambiguity, the tension these questions bring up.
To journey yourself.
The journey of self-awareness, yeah. With all the struggles and the wanting, maybe that's more valuable than reaching some imaginary finish line of perfect self-improvement.
So the final thought for you listening, as you go about your day, maybe bump into these self-help messages. Ask yourself, what am I really searching for here?
Is it genuine growth, or is it escape? Is it connection or control, meaning, or maybe just distraction?
The answer, tricky as it might be,
Yeah.
it's ultimately in you.